लाइफ पे चले गए हैं स्टार्ट। हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम गाइस, वी आर लाइव सो यस, यहाँ से स्टार्ट।
Walaikum Assalam. Nobody's joined yet though. Should we
हमने
wait?
ही नहीं किया। गाइस एक्चुअली हम लोगों ने लिंक ही नहीं शेयर किया हुआ अभी तक। आई
Okay,
विल
yeah, that's why nobody's joined.
अभी ज्वाइन करते हैं। ओके फुरकान आपने ना अजबा को बनाना है को होस्ट। शी विल प्रेजेंट द स्लाइड्स।
ऑल राइट। असबा अभी है? अच्छा अभी नहीं है।
अजबा को बोलती हूँ मैं। हम्म,
بس انا هنحتاج ما نسمعش صوت، اطلع بره ولا اعمل ايه؟ Can I just check for 1 second? I 8 second बस.
Hello and good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to day 2 of the Grand CB Fest 2025 Scome edition, part of MSA's biggest annual online capacity building event. I'm Memuna Khan, GA to know me, your host for today's exciting session, and I'm thrilled to have you all here with us as we wrap up our day 2 journey of growth, learning, and collaboration within Scome. Before we dive into the session, I would like to take a moment and introduce my wonderful SCOME team who are here with me today. The Nomi himself, Mohammed Shahryar Abid, Azwa Asfa, and Memuna Khan, the GA. Now, I would like to start with the first ice-breaking session. I would like Azwa to drop the link for the session.
Okay, I'm just sharing in 1 minute. Guys, I'm so sorry for this. Shut.
Okay, I think Azwa has sent the link in the meeting chat. I would like everyone to join the link and start. All the best, you guys. I'm really, really sorry for the delay and the confusion. I'll be back in a second. I'm really sorry, guys.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Kindly please join this link I've sent you. We will do the icebreaker session and then we will go on with our presentations complete. Kindly join this link. We will do our brief icebreaker session. Everyone, please join this link. I'll just wait for 2 minutes till everyone joins, then I'll start. I guess I should start. So we have to solve the MCQs and the person who wins might get a prize. So I'm gonna start right now. One, two, three.
Question number one is morning sickness happens only in the morning. Myth or fact? Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Epilepsy is caused by possession or evil spirits. Myth or fact? Menstrual blood only comes from the uterus. Oxygen can be toxic in high concentrations. Myth or fact? Acne is caused by poor hygiene. Nosebleed always occurs from back of the nose. Myth or fact? Your blood type can affect your risk for certain diseases. Myth or fact? The fetus can hear mother's voice. Myth or fact? Dreaming only happens in REM sleep. People can hallucinate during sleep paralysis. Myth or fact? Everyone experiences brain fog at some time. Antivirals can cure Vibrio cholerae-induced diseases. Your brain can store entire data of internet. Vaccine causes autism. I think we all know this one. You need to drink 8 glasses of water per day. Myth or fact? Osteoporosis only affects elderly women. Myth or fact? Reading in low light will ruin your eyesight. Myth or fact? Flu shot can give the flu. You only need to wear sunscreen when it's sunny. That's an easy one. Okay, so congratulations to Aisha, Arshad, and me and Hijab Fatma for winning. We absolutely aced this quiz, and that is amazing. Okay, now I would like to introduce our speaker. Please welcome Ms. Bazala Amir, an AMET facilitator and the current NOMI of IFMSA Egypt for the term 2024 to 2025. Her journey in Scome began 4 years ago, and since then, she's facilitated countless sessions focused on advancing medical education. The floor is yours, Ms. Bazala.
Ma'am Basmala, you are muted actually.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing me. Thank you.
It's
Thank
alright.
you.
It's alright.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for having me here. This is Basmala Amir, IFMSA Egypt NUMI, for the term 24-25, and I'll be giving you this session, the first part of this session. Hoping, inshallah, you all will enjoy this session. If you guys can open your cameras or anything like that, just tell me if you can open the camera. That would be very helpful. If anyone can open. Okay, and let's get started. With the first slide, please. Foundation, transformation, and medical education. Also, I can share the slides if it's possible.
Do you have the slides with you?
Oh, yes, I have them.
Yes, you may share. You may share.
Okay, thank you.
Azwa, please. Wait. Yes, please. You may share.
Okay. Okay, here we goes. Okay. And that's it. Let's start with the first slide. It will be like just an introduction. I'll be asking you, what do you think, guys, about the foundation and transformation in medical education? Just like re-imaging the roots of how we learn medicine. What do you think? What do you think of how the story started? How everything started in medical education? Anyone has any guesses? You can even raise your hand or maybe unmute yourself and just speak.
I think it started when the students saw like gaps in the system and the curriculum being outdated, and to basically represent medical students' interest in medical education and promote quality worldwide. That is my guess.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, thank you. It's a very helpful and very uh excellent input. Thank you so much. Anyone has any guesses? Like we can split them into two parts. The first part is the foundation, and the second part is the transformation. So we have the foundation, that's how everything started, how medical education started. You know, guys, we don't have even systemic schools. Uh, we don't have anything. And the transformation, you know, the transformation from classical learning to the learning and the systemic learning we know now. So anyone have any other inputs? Yes, I should see the chat. Start. Did it start with the formation of IFMSA after World War II? Um, maybe you mean yes, okay. Now I get what do you mean. Maybe you mean SCOME, the Standing Committee Medical Education. That's right. The Standing Committee Medical Education started on that day. That's true. Thank you for this input. But what I mean here, the medical education as medical education. Yes, I get you. No, what I mean is the medical education as itself. Okay. I guess no guesses so far, and without any further ado, let's get started for the next slide. Okay. The slide is so crowded, I'm so sorry. Okay, this is a very historical overview about what's happening, how everything started, how medical education started from the very beginning. So in ancient times, it was very, very basic. Say one, do one, teach one. We have in the very, very ancient times the theory of the relationship of mentor-mentee relationship. You want to learn medicine, you want to be a physician, so you go to the physician of the country, you go to the physician who you know, and you just ask him about how to learn medicine. You just become his mentee. You just learn everything from this one by experience. He give you all the knowledge. Maybe you have books, and maybe you don't have books. So that happened in the very, very ancient times. See one, do one, teach one. You see, you do, and you teach. That was the cycle. Okay, and after that, in 1910, uh, I guess you guys know the Flexner Robert. Okay, if you don't know Flexner do a very, very, very revolutionary movement in the whole education. The systemic education we now know, it's all because of this man, Flexner. So the Flexner Robert reformed in North American education. This marks a bivital movement. The Flexner Robert advocated for more scientific and standardized and university based. So we now have universities, and save the date, 1910. Okay, and after that, 20th century standardized curricula and specialization. So we now have curriculum for each step. So the first level we have a curriculum. For the second level we have another curriculum, and it's all
Good, yeah, nice.
what?
Muzamil iPhones खराब आएगा. ई session है सर मुझे. लंबा not लंबा.
I'm sorry.
Guys,
Okay,
can you
maybe
please
Really
go
sorry
ahead?
for the disturbance. He has been muted.
no worries, no worries. Okay, thank you. So in the 20th century, we have curriculum and we have more specialization. So we have universities, and these universities, you want to learn about medicine. So you go to the School of Medicine or the medical school. If you want to learn about engineering, maybe you go to the engineering school. But the Flexner Robert mainly for medicine and learning about medical education. So now this period saw the development of more uniform educational programs and the rise of medical specialties. So we have internal medicine, we have surgery, we have maybe ophthalmology, we have gynecology, and etc. etc. And now, what about now? Now it focuses about more holistic and adaptive and outcome-based training. What is the outcome-based training? Outcome-based training, it's like we have the job market, and we have what we have the needs of the patients. So we are learning how to satisfy these needs. So it's very holistic and adaptive, and brings us to the current shift that we have now. So we started from see one, do one, and teach one, to the very holistic, flexible, and adaptive, result-oriented or outcome-oriented approach. And that was that historical overview. That's how everything started. So when it comes to medical education, when we talk about medical education, we have, if you're interested to know about the history of medical education, you can see the history of medical education. You can go more resources talking about history and how everything started in medical education. And by the way, it's very, very, very interesting. So we have the traditional model. The traditional model, it is the same like the teacher-centered model. Teacher-centered model, it means that the teacher is the center of the process, of the educational process. So we have the educational process, you can imagine it's like a circle, and in the center you have the teacher. So it was the traditional model. What do you think, guys, about the traditional model centered, teacher-centered model? Do you think it was a good model, or it wasn't a good model? You can write in the chat if it's good or not. Maybe you can write good, one word, or not, one word. And I'll be, yes, I will follow the chat box. Please keep up your ideas coming. Just write it was, yes, it was a good, or no. Nope. Yes, it's very momentous. Okay. It's very monotonous. That's very right. Okay. Okay, any other guesses? Any other guesses? Okay, I guess no. Okay, that's no. Okay, let's dig deep more in the traditional model, or teacher-centered. Teacher-centered focus on passive learning through lectures. We all know lectures. We have a tutor, or we have an instructor, and we are students, and we are passively getting knowledge, getting the info. Highlights the key feature where students primarily receive information. So we here receive information passively from instructors. And minimal student interaction, interactive sessions, interactive lectures. It's not teacher-centered. If you're teacher-centered, it will not be that much interactive. So this points out the limited opportunities for active engagement, discussion, and peer learning. Peer learning, it means like when I'm a student and you're a student and I'm giving you the info. So it's peer-to-peer education. Your peer, or maybe your colleague, learn you something or taught you something. It's peer learning. Heavy reliance on memory-based assessments. Memory-based assessments, it's mean like the evaluation often focused on recalling facts. You just recall facts. No skills, demonstrating skills, no skills like critical thinking or something like that. You just recall recall from your memory the knowledge, or the fact, or whatever you studied as it is. Effective or fundamental knowledge, it limits critical thinking. It's very fundamental, it's very, very, very basic, and it's also very important, but it also limits critical thinking and adaptability. We need to adapt with the new knowledge. We need to adapt with the new info. So it was very, very easy. It was just effective for the fundament in developing higher order of cognitive thinking or skills like critical thinking. So not even helping students. So do you think, guys, we need a change? We need to change the old model? And if yes, please tell me why. What do you think? Do you think we need to change the old model? The old model, I mean by the old model or the traditional model, the teacher-centered. I see the chat box. You can write yes, we need to change, or this model needed to be changed, or no, you think this model was good enough that we don't need to change it. Any guesses? We should have changed this. Okay. Okay, let me ask you a question. Yes, there is minimal interaction between students and teachers. That's right. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys think the teacher-centered, do you think in how much percentage we have teacher-centered education or teacher-centered model in our universities? I can tell you in the chat box in how much in percentage how much we have teacher-centered in my university, and you can also share with me your percentage. Okay, I can tell. I can 60%. What about you? Mamuna said yes, it lacked student involvement that didn't focus enough on practical skills or soft skills and didn't keep up with the advancements in technology and global health priorities. Thank you so much. That's perfect. That's right. Okay. 40%. That's good. That's good enough. Yes. Anyone else? 60%. Okay. 60%. Okay. Okay. Love that. Okay. So you guys think, yes, we need to change this model, and why? Yes, Manuma, actually tell us why we need to change this model. We can know more now. Okay. Why change we needed? The healthcare environment become more complex and patient-centered. And please, guys, focus on patient-centered here. So patient-centered make the healthcare environment now more complex. So we have patient and we have the needs of patients and we have hundreds and hundreds of needs. So we need to satisfy these needs. So increasing interpieces of medical knowledge, technology, and growing focus on individual patient needs. So each individual, each patient have individual needs and preferences. And also students need to be more adaptable and skilled in communication. And that's exactly what Manuma said. This highlights the importance of flexibility, problem solving, and effective interaction with patients, family, and colleagues. So it's not about interaction with patients and families, it's also interaction with colleagues. So I have to interact with patients and their relatives and also my colleagues in modern healthcare. New diseases, new technologies, expectations, and merging that all together, lifelong learner capable of integrating new information and tools. So now medical education is lifelong learning. So it's lifelong. You will learn medicine for your life. So we need to be more adaptable. We need to learn more how to taught ourselves. And a dynamic education system. We need a dynamic education system, and it's very, very important and become necessary to prepare future physicians. This summarizes the need for more evolving educational approach to meet demands of a changing healthcare landscape. And the healthcare landscape is very, very, very rapidly changing nowadays. Okay, the shift. Now, yes, we need to change, and the shift that happens is student-centered learning. The student-centered learning, students as active participants in their learning. In my NMO, as a Numi, I also told my Lumis that, guys, please know that medical students are the main, the main point, the everything. They are the everything in the educational process. We are the main stakeholders. We have many more stakeholders in medical education, but the main stakeholder in medical education is medical students. We are not passive recipients. We are not just receiving knowledge. We need to interact with knowledge. So students as active participants in their learning empathize on self-reflection, feedback, and collaboration. So the learning we need now and the shift that happens in many countries in the world is having a student-centered learning. Student-centered learning, it means that the faculty and the deans, the authority of faculties, they all listen to our reflections, our feedback, and they need our collaboration. This highlights the importance of student evaluation, their own learning, receiving constructive criticism, and working effectively with peers. Personalized learning paths and critical thinking encouraged. Yes, guys, we now have personalized learning paths. We don't have the same learning path for each student. We have personalized learning path for each an individual student. This points towards a tailoring education to individual students needs to fostering the ability to analyze information and make sound judgments. The learner became the focus, not the teacher. So it's like we imagine we have a circle, and the center of the circle now is student. And it's a very fundamental shift in emphasizes from an instructor delivering information to the student actively constructing knowledge and skill. So now students is in the center. And it's a very, very important, and it's also very helpful to have an interactive learning environment. Okay, and what else? Okay. You remember, guys, we say patient-centered. We have to focus more about on patients. So how medical education, ME, stands for medical education, became more community related. You guys know how to be more community related in or community based in our medical education? Any guesses? You can unmute yourself, just unmute yourself and tell me your guesses. Any guesses? You can write in the chat if it's not possible to unmute yourself.
Through public health, preventive care, and community-based learning, also health camps, outreach programs, real-life community settings, simulations. That is my
Perfect.
guess.
That's perfect. Yes. Thank you, Manoma. Okay. I just have a question. Manoma, do I say your name correctly? Memuna?
Memuna, yeah. Now you're
Yes,
saying
okay,
it.
thank you. Okay,
I'm
Memuna,
really
thank you.
sorry. I did not know you were calling me because of the mispronunciation. That's why I did not answer before.
No,
I'm
it's
really
my fault.
sorry.
It's my fault. I'm so sorry. No, it's my fault.
No, it's
I think
okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Community-based medical education. Community-based medical education, it's now one of the very, very, very important expressions that we have now. All medical education associations focus on community-based medical education. So what is community-based medical education? Okay. Community-based medical education focus on outcomes. This highlights that the primary goal is the achievement of specific abilities required for practice, mastery of specific competencies before advancement. This means students progress based on demonstrated proficiency rather than solely on time spent in training. Time-independent progression. This underscores the flexibility of community-based medical education, allowing students to advance in their own pace on competencies are met. Okay, guys, focus on knowledge, skills, attitude, and values, and also assessment integrated throughout the curriculum. This indicates that evaluation on the ongoing process. But let me give you another definition that it's more easy and more simple to understand. Community-based medical education, that means that I go to the community and I interact with the community very, very closely, like very closely. So medical students and people um, who are in charge of making medical curricula, they're all work together and they're all close to the community. So I make medical curricula that focus on the community, that is depending on the community. So in my community, we have diseases like whatever, maybe we have diabetes mellitus more than any other. We have a crucial um, increasing in numbers of patients suffering from diabetes mellitus. So I will give a focus to diabetes mellitus. My medical students, they don't interact with the community, even in the internship years only. So I'll make them interact more with patients, interact more with the community. So it's not just yes, I have this basic knowledge and you have just to memorize this basic knowledge. No, it's focused more about outcomes. It gives me, it knows me, it taught me how to know, focus more about knowledge and skills, attitude and values, and the more holistic approach that we need to have. Okay. Examples from your own locality about community-based medical education. I'm here asking you guys if you have any initiatives that happen in Pakistan, maybe from the Ministry of Health, maybe, or any other initiatives, maybe initiative in MSA-Pakistan have. Do you have any examples? Actually, I have one example. It's 100 million health, or 100 million healthy patient, or healthy persons. It's in my country. I'm from Egypt, as I told you, and we have a really, really critical problem in hepatitis virus. We having, and just 5 years ago, we having a more growing numbers in patients suffering from hepatitis B virus. So this initiatives comes from the Ministry of Health, and many more medical students were part of this initiative, so that we now achieved this number, 100 million healthy persons from hepatitis B virus. So do you guys have any other initiatives in your locality similar to this? Maybe you heard about any initiatives like that? Mm-mm-mm. I guess I have to be back to the chat. Okay, any guesses? I guess no. Okay, worries. I guess you have to search for any initiative that happen in your country or in your locality. I guess you will find one. Just when we finish this session, you have to search about one. Okay. Global adapt global adoption of community-based medical education. So internationally, in multiple countries, uh, they adopt the concept of community-based medical education. Like in Canada, USA, India, WFME also promotes the CBME globally, and growing international movement. It's a very, very, very growing international movement. So in Canada, um, Canada Medical's yeah, it's CAN MEDS framework. This well-established and influential framework that defines the competencies required of physicians in Canada. And in USA, we have the ACGME competencies. The Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education outlines competency domains for residency programs in the United States and also in India. National Medical Commission launched CPME in 2019, and this highlights a significant recent adoption of community-based medical education principles in a major medical education system. And also WFME promotes a community-based medical education globally. The World Federation of Medical Education actively advocates for the implementation of community-based approaches worldwide. And if you guys have any session from WFME deans or the CEO of WFME, of course, they will tell you about the very, very ongoing and the growing concept of community-based medical education. And like I said, it's happening in all countries, in all the world, and the whole world. The implementation of community-based medical education as a best practice of medical education globally. So it's very growing. Yes, we need to implement community-based medical education in our localities. Okay, challenges in implementing community-based medical education. We have community-based medical education here in our localities or in your localities. Yes, we have multiple challenges to implement these concepts in our localities. But let's see what challenges do we have. Yes, challenges in implementation. So first of all, we have faculty development and mindset shift. So it's not easy to shift the mindset from the very traditional way and the very traditional model of having a teacher-centered. Maybe our faculties, maybe our medical schools don't even have the student-centered. So we will come and say, yes, we need community-based medical education. It's very difficult to have. So this points to the need of educators to adapt to their teaching and assessment methods, which can require significant training and a change perspective. Designing meaningful assessment. So we need meaningful assessment, as community-based medical education focuses on skills and values. So creating effective tools to accurately measure the diverse competencies can be complex and resource intensive. So we need resources, and it's a very, very, very critical and crucial point. So resources, constraints in developing countries, limits of funding, infrastructure, and personnel can pose significant challenges in implementing comprehensive community-based medical education programs. Aligning accreditation and regularity standards, ensuring that community-based medical education programs meet the requirements of accrediting bodies and government regulations can be a complex process. So it's not easy that all the countries, that my country and your country, follow the regulatory standards that the WFME putting, as it's a very complex process. So, do you guys have any success stories you want to share, about implementing community-based medical education? Anyone has any success stories you heard in any country in the world? I guess no. And I don't want to be late for this, the upcoming part, so I will say yes, success stories. So we have in India, in Canada, and also in Africa. In India, we have the MPPS, Community-Based Medical Education Curriculum in 2019. More particular integrated modules. This highlights a positive outcome of adopting community-based medical education, leading to a more hands-on and interconnected learning experience for medical students. And in Canada and the US, outcome-based residency training. So it's same as outcome-based residency training. This points to the successful application of community-based medical education principles in postgraduate medical education, focusing on residents achieving specific clinical outcomes. And in Africa, they have a pilot programs incorporating community-based medical education into community health. This showcase the adaptability of community-based medical education to different healthcare settings, and its potential to improve healthcare delivery in underserved areas. So that there was the success stories, and I guess now it's our turn to make our success story in our locality. In my country, we're urging the authorities to have like these success stories, that we need to implement a true community-based medical education system in our medical education. So I'm urging you also to have the same, to advocate for community-based medical education. Okay, okay, I'm now concluding my part, the first part of this session. So I'm concluding this part with two take-home messages. The first, that the foundation of medical education has shifted from rigid structures to dynamic ones. Student-focused models. This is the very dynamic. This reiterates the central theme of the transformation discussed in the presentation, what we discussed. Understanding this transformation sets the stage for innovation and future readings. This emphasizes the importance of recognizing these changes to drive further improvement and prepare medical professionals for evolving healthcare landscape. So this is the part, and I'm concluding this part. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope um you're interested in what we say, and inshallah you're interested to hear the other two parts that's coming up. And thank you.
A very, very, very heartfelt thank you to our amazing speaker for sharing such valuable insights and leaving us truly inspired. Now, I would like to have the very inspiring Miss Fakre Mahin, MBBS FJMU 23, MSA alumna, and a passionate advocate for medical education with 7+ years in IFMSA and MSA, former president, SUPCO member, and Lomi at FJMU LC. She is a true leader and lifelong learner. Over to you.
Hello. Hello, guys. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello,
you
can you hear
are.
me? Okay, just give me a minute. Am I going to present the slides as well?
If you want to, sure. Yeah, you can.
Okay, give me a second, please. I'm sorry. I just downloaded them. Just give me 1 minute. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Dr. Fakra Mahi, working as a house officer at Gangaram Hospital, Lahore, and I'm graduate of FGMU 2023 year. So, you already know my intro. So, first of all, we'll be talking about the future of medical education under the Scome 101 session today. Are you guys tired? Do you guys need a break?
No, I guess we're actually refreshed. You can go on.
Okay, so this is an activity. Let me just start my video as well. Hmm, मैं किसी को नजर आ रही हूँ? Because I can't see myself.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, okay, fine. So First of all, we have this small activity for you guys. This is a SWOT analysis. You all guys know what SWOT is, right? You guys can put your answers in the chat box. This is a small activity, okay? So we'll be doing the SWOT analysis on our topic evaluating the effectiveness of current medical education and practices in preparing future ready health professionals. So you guys have 30 seconds to just make a SWOT analysis of this topic. This is a topic given to you. You guys have to assess what are the strengths of our current system, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunities, and what are the threats. Guys, जल्दी करो.
Yes, typing.
Okay, I'm opening the chat box. You guys can't see me. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening to my camera right now. Just make a SWOT analysis, right? All guys know, right? SWOT analysis.
Yes.
So this is the topic. What do you think is current medical education to you? You just write down those points, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats. So I'll be talking about it now. The strengths. We all have some weaknesses, strengths. We all have threats to any system overall in the entire world. So talking about medical education, what are our strengths right now of medical education in our country or in a specific continent or globally? The strengths are that the accreditation systems are already established. We all have a strong foundation in our core sciences. We all get to have clinical hands-on exposure in our country, which is a blessing. And we have wide access to the CME and the specialty training programs. This last speaker already talked about CME in details. I won't be talking about it in more. So these are the few strengths to me. All right. So what are the weaknesses? As we know, the curricula is outdated in many institutions. We lastly had annual or model systems, and now it's converting to the modular system, which is kind of a positive impact of all these advocacy on the medical education. We have another weakness to me was limited integration of the digital tools. After COVID, there is a huge transition of education from in class to off classes, like online systems, right? Then another weakness can be there is overemphasis of memorization all over. We all know there is rote learning in our system, so we have to do PBL sessions, critical thinking, in order to solve and evaluate scenarios. And everyone is burnout. This is a very important weakness to me. What are the opportunities which we can see? So, considering the topic we had, so you guys have to think what are the opportunities which you guys can create for yourself, for your colleagues, for the future students to come nationally, internationally. All right. So opportunities can be use of adaptive learning and AI-based platforms. ChatGPT, Meta AI, Deep Space, Postlikely, everything has changed the entire notion of medical education. We can do global collaborations via virtual exchange. Like we are doing a CB Fest right now, it's online, right? So we can have global classes as well, virtual classes. We can introduce AR, VR, and simulation based learning. Do you guys know what is AR, VR, and simulations?
Yes, it's virtual reality, and like through simulations, we can get to know, okay, about the consequences and everything, like without harming the patient in a way.
Yeah,
Like you can
yeah,
get experience without anyone being hurt.
Yeah, simulation-based learning, I'll talk about it in a very one-line answer. Simulation-based learning is a virtual patient, like not a real patient, but it's a virtual patient, and you are being a good and a safe doctor for the patient. So it's like practice of those real-time scenarios on mannequin, on a virtual patient, and there are very AI tools now which actually provide you such platforms to learn and practice them. And the threats. While talking about the threats, while we are transitioning from our old school to new school advancements, there can be a threat of rising costs as well. Not every government provides us funds. We are from a third world country, and considering while being a doctor from third world country, costs and the prices really affect our entire budget. So that is a major threat. There can be inequity in access to the quality of education globally. There is modular system worldwide, but we are just adopting it. So this is one of the biggest weakness as well as the threat to our education system as well. We are lagging behind so much. There is a rapid pace of medical innovation as well, and we are not super fast paced. Our modular system was just introduced 2 years back, and it's in the initial stages of implementation. We are not even at the final stages. It's already modifying a lot, and it's not well implemented as well. So this is the basic and biggest threat to our medical education. So this was just a SWOT analysis. You guys should have your own SWOTs. You should preach for it. You should advocate for it. Just make your SWOTs and work on what weaknesses you have. You need to change your weaknesses into your strengths, right? So, while talking about the future of medical learning, we'll be dividing it into three categories. First one is adaptive learning. You should be very adapt and easy to just adapt to the new advancements. There are AI powered tutoring systems, there's smart simulations, there's dynamic curricula. So, what is the concept of telling you guys first? Because you all are medical students. You should know what are the recent advancements and why don't we have such opportunities. You have to create those opportunities for yourself. You have to just be very proactive in using the AI. You should have knowledge of what simulations are. How can you even practice simulations in your own domain? What is the concept of global connectivity? A, a global connectivity is a borderless classroom, like the virtual clinical rotations all over. There can be a Zoom meeting, there can be a virtual class where you are all taking that class on one specific topic from all around the world, like the health summits, like the WHO health meetings. There can be student-centric learning as well. We should empower the next generation through flexible pathways. Flexible in a sense that the seniors and the healthcare advanced the persons, they listen to what students demand. There should be flexible pathway in breaking that border or bridging the gap, right? So what is lifelong learning? Lifelong learning for doctors is always there. Our education, our degrees, our advancements in health never stops. So learning never stops. Medical education is never going to stop. The CME credited hours or the conferences or the workshops, these are all examples of what activities you can take during your MBBS or after your post graduation as well. These CME credited hours will be added to your CV. So this is a very important and a plus point as well. There are online CME courses and micro learning, and there is license given to every doctor to practice. Once you are a licensed doctor, you have to have these online accredited courses, everything to just update your CV. So this is a lifelong learning process. You have to be very advanced in medical education. So these are the types of CME activities that I have written. They can be online courses and webinars, workshops, hands-on trainings, conferences, symposiums. It can be journal-based learning or case-based learning. You can have problem-based learning sessions, PBLs, simulations, and performance improvement CME. Have you even ever attended such CME activities? Do you guys have certificates for them? Hi. No?
Nope.
Oh, you guys should have. If I'm in this field and I'm working here while I'm making my CV, it's very important for everyone of us to have these conferences. You should make your logbook. So it's like I'm talking apart 1 minute. It's an advice to every one of you. Make your logbook, make your yearly mood board. You should have your book and you should make your goals that you are going to at least target one CME workshop in 3 months or one CME online course in 3 months. You should have that all the records and the certifications in your logbook with you. It's your CV and you have to build your CV since the first year of your med school. Okay, it's just a small advice for you all. So moving on to the next slide, we are modernizing the CME. Modernizing means that we are making it accessible to everyone through the mobile phone apps. We are making it virtual simulations. We are making it e-journals. We are making it through podcasts. All of this has been given the accreditations recently. So, what is the concept of CME then? It's self-paced, it is tailored content. Whether you want to attend any public health conference, you can go and have that opportunity. Whether it's related to cardiology, neurology, rheumatology, every kind of virtual conference is available online. So you should just grasp the opportunities according to your interests. And their competency-based CME gaining popularity as well through simulations, through webinars, through workshops. So these are few examples which I have quoted in the right side. These are the websites and the associations. The common one and accepted is BMJ Learning AHA. So they offer very vast range of free courses as well. So you should definitely go and visit their websites. At least try to gain one workshop in your summer break, in your spring break, in your winter break. Just do apply for them. What is the role of research in undergraduate years? How many people are here who are USMLE aspirants? It's just a random question. Okay, I see raise hands of Memuna. Anyone else? So, do you guys know what was the match criteria? It was usually based on research. You should at least have one research one per year. So we should. I always advocate for research in your undergrad years. Just start with this small steps, once at a time. Build your connections. Ask your seniors. The earliest exposure is, the better it is in the long way. So research in undergrad years. I just wrote few points for you guys. You should be very. You should have early exposure. You should be very curious, and you should have critical thinking that if a thing is being practiced, why is it so? Just go home, research the topic, read the articles, have any topic in your mind, and just go with your seniors and start research in the early years. There are research electives as well as conferences. Make your abstracts, submit them to conferences. Every single thing counts. Opportunity in student journals. So there are e-journals recently, so you guys don't have to worry about the impact factor. Just do and try to get it published. And I would always encourage you all to have evidence-based practice because this is the most recent advancement. Do participate in meta-analysis, systemic reviews, and just always preach for it. What is the role of AI in medical education? AI, there are different tools. You all must have been using ChatGPT, right? There are more advancements to it. There are more tools to use. So these are few tools which you can use in your daily medicine and surgical allied fields as well. There is intelligent tutoring. And the example is IBM Watson Tutor. So, what is the benefit of it? It gives you personalized feedback of what your topic is. You just go click it and you will have all the information. For adaptive quizzing, we have websites such as Ambos like Tokyo. We all know about it, right? So it is most efficient one using for the exam prep. We can have virtual patients through the Shadow Health. This is a software as well. So it is for safe clinical practice. There are a lot of these things. You should just explore AI and you should preach for it. You know, one thing is since our COVID pandemic, there had been a transition. You all know that. So you have to adapt to it. And Chat GPT Meta AI is one of the most recent advancements. You should use it in a very positive aspect. Just use it for your research, for your publications, for entire things you have. The next concept is digital health and tech literacy. Why am I writing is because everything is getting online. There are systems, and we all are expected to work in those online systems abroad. Currently, in our country, there is no such practice, but we all should have basic knowledge of what is tech literacy, what is digital health, what is telemedicine, what are e-prescriptions, what do you mean by data privacy? So, it's a random question for all of you. Do you guys know what medical ethics are?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
Yes. Okay, Maimuna, you can go first.
It is basically a set of moral principles that guide the practice of medicine. It ensures that the medical professionals act in best interest of the patients and maintain respect, honesty, and fairness.
Yes, very good. So, it's another question as well. While living in this modern era of Google, ChatGPT, Meta AI, is it feasible for us? How is it? Like, this is a question for you as a doctor. How are you going to satisfy your patients, considering the privacy, autonomy, and all the basic medical ethics? How will you act if you have a patient and you are asked to treat him online?
Like, on one hand, it is a beneficial for us living in an
Yes.
advance in medical technology, research, and treatment options that we have.
Yeah.
But like, like it also offers opportunities for growth, learning, and meaningful impactful on patients' life.
Yes.
But it can also cause some avoid like harm to the people. We
Yeah.
cannot done with the
Exactly.
visions sometimes.
Exactly. Because this is what I really want to emphasize on. We all have online systems, but until or any, we even heard of having the robotic doctors as well. That doctors are going to be replaced by ChatGPT soon. But do you even think is this possible? No. We have to
Absolutely
see the
not.
patients. We have to touch the patient. We have to examine the patient head to toe. There are patients whose all the labs are perfectly normal, but the patient is in severe critical sick condition. So there are some pros and there are cons as well to all the digital health and telemedicine. So you have to open your mind to accept every single concept related to it. Okay, but
Yes.
you should have all the skills. You should be a very skillful doctor. Just go take history of the patient, examine the patient yourself, make your diagnosis, know what basic treatment is, read the treatment plans. Be a very safe and vigilant doctors for your patient. So, what is the concept of global health and integration? We all know the sustainable developmental goals, and the goal number three is good health and well being. How are you going to provide good health and well being? By being a safe doctor. And how can you become a safe doctor? By accepting the advancements in medical education, by advocating for it, by research, by taking part in research, by writing policy papers. You should emphasize on the social determinants of health, whether you are sitting in your medical school, whether you are sitting in the outdoor of your hospital, either it's indoor hospital emergency. You should know what are the determinants of a patient coming to you. When you act local, then only you can act global. So there are global initiatives as well. Global health electives and exchange programs are also there. You can take part in them. We as doctors are always prepared for pandemics and humanitarian crises. There are special courses for it. You should know what triage is. You should know what color coding is. These are the basics. You should all have concepts of what these things are. Then you should all be promoting the global citizenship and cultural competence. Everyone works in a multidisciplinary team. Likewise, in our medicine, we all come from different cultures, different ethics, and we all work together in a team. So this is the basic concept of global health. While you are all medical students, we should consider the student well-being as well. Students these days are burnt out. I know you guys have 95% attendance. You guys have to pass your every test. You have to appear in every exam as well. This gets a lot on the mental health of the student. So there should be peer support programs and wellness initiatives. There should be monthly psychologist appointments with the students where you guys just go have a session and you guys will feel light already. And our curriculum should be paced in such a way that it reduces the stress of the medical students because healthy doctors can't be produced through burnout. We should have healthy, fresh minds so that you guys can act actively. You should have institutional support as well. What is the faculty doing for you guys? It matters a lot. It matters on your whole academic, like curricular and extracurricular activities as well. The mental health services should be accessible for all. There should be open feedback and open dialogues. Like there should be a student council who should be listening to all your queries. And we should introduce a culture of empathy and encouragement where everyone supports each other rather than judging, mocking, or just saying, like, why are you even questioning that it's hard for you? Because every one of us has a different IQ level. So, what is our vision? The whole debate was on medical education, the future of medical education. What is our vision? Our vision is to create a future ready, healthy education environment where education is flexible, it is digital and humane. It is achievable. We should actively use AI. We should preach concept of global health and mental being must be the core element in our academic curricular activities and extracurricular as well. And we should call for innovation, collaboration, and compassion. So I have a question for you all. Do you know how can you advocate at your level and how to write policy papers? Guys, do you know that?
I have a rough idea about this. Like we can do this by starting an or identifying a relevant and pressing issue in medicine.
Yeah,
Um, by taking a note on a specific medical condition, ethical concerns, and improvement in medical technology. By
yeah, it
conducting
is.
a research on actually research topics. Okay, what are existing policies, practices, research relating to your issues, databases, statistics.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to add more in it. There are a lot of advocacy programs running internationally. How are they going to know about our problems? It's upon all upon us. It's centered upon us whether we advocate for it or whether we procrastinate for it. So you have to be very enthusiastic about advocating of your problems and your rights and your solutions towards that problem. So in a society, I'll start from the area from the last part of the table. In society, you can have stronger public health outcomes if you advocate for medical education. As a medical student, you can have greater career satisfaction, reduce burnout, and stronger identity if you advocate that yes, we're having a problem in this module, it's not feasible for us, the professors aren't friendly, we need more research related articles, we need to work hard on this topic. So you have to bridge that gap, you have to advocate for that. Okay? And while talking on the healthcare systems, if all the primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcare systems do not come together, we cannot make policies that are acceptable and feasible and applicable. And for patient care, जब तक आप advocate नहीं करोगे, you are not going to have more compassionate, holistic care, and you are not going to just accept what the patient demands from you. This is a question and a poll for every one of you. It was just for fun purpose. So you guys can have 30 seconds to read and vote. I think so you guys can vote it online. The question is, do you hereby pledge as a proud medical student to be part of the change, to learn with your curiosity, speak up with honesty, and help make med school a better ride for everyone?
Yes, obviously, everyone needs to be in on this.
Are we all on the same page? Yes. Obviously, we all are. We really want a change in our system. We need advancements in it. So, together, we will shape the doctors of tomorrow. While talking about this, what is the purpose of us sitting together online and debating on medical education? It is for you, it's a message from my side to please go advocate, preach the topic, ask questions, do critical thinking, ask for simulations in your department, in your organization. If not, just go learn and then organize for others. Be a safe doctor and write policy papers on the deficiencies you feel you have. So this is the link I uploaded. You can write policy papers in your own LCs, then present it on at the national level. When it's NG and it's presented there, if it is adopted, it can be presented to the international GAs as well. So this is a whole chain of change that you are going to create. So this is a policy paper I added for you all. I can open it up. You guys can go read it. Just know what policy papers are. How do we advocate for change? All should know how to write policy papers. If not, you guys can ask Haram. She can arrange or workshop sessions or virtual sessions on it. I'll open it up for you all. Mm. So this was adopted in 2024 August meeting on the topic accreditation and quality assurance. So this is how a policy paper looks like. I'll share the link and you guys can read it. This is on Scome. Likewise, we write for Scora, SCOF as well. So what is this is the introduction to the policy statement, and then what is the stance of IFMSA and how we can bring change. Then those changes are enlisted in call to action part. You guys can have a training session on this as well. Now this is another advancement in medical education. You might know or you might not know about it before. So at this thing, I'll just end my session. Thank you so much for listening, for being so humble, kind, to answer and respond to every question. That's all from my side. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for lighting the path forward with your wisdom. Your guidance has truly been inspiring. Thank you so much, Dr. Fakhr Maheen. Now we will move on to our last two speakers for today. I would like to start with Mr. Devin Jonathan, the National Officer of Medical Education at Medsar, Rwanda. He is a true pandastic at heart and a passionate advocate for medical education and research. We're honored to have him with us today. I would also like to call Mr. Methode Yusufu Abdul Karim, the IFMSA Scome Regional Assistant for Africa and President of Metsar Rwanda, a familiar and inspiring name in the Scome family. He truly needs no introduction. The floor is all yours.
Evening or good morning to you all. I hope you are doing great. I hope you're also hearing me. Maybe you can give a thumbs up just for
Yes,
checking.
but I would like you to be a little louder.
All right.
That's possible.
Okay, thanks.
No worries.
Right. Is it audible right now?
Yes, this is way better. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, thank you for your time. Just taking this time to introduce myself, as you have said. I'm Jonathan. I'm the National Officer on Medical Education in Metsa, Rwanda. And currently I'm working with Method Yusuf Abdul Karim, who is Metsa President, at the same time, the Scome Regional Assistant for African region. And he is currently not available, but he will surely join us when he gets online. Yeah. Let me see how I can share my screen. Are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Just a few while. All right. Great. So thank you once for your time. Just a quick do you have some few minutes for a short icebreaker?
Yes, sure. I think everyone needs that.
All right, all right. So maybe everyone of you, you can just in the chat share with us maybe like two things people know about you, and then one small thing that people mistakenly think about you. Yeah, like two truths and one lie. People think actually it is the truth about you. Yeah, we can do it like in a few minutes and then we can kick off. Uh, all right. Or maybe I can start so that people maybe, okay. I think I will. All right. People think that you work really hard, but you work smart. That's actually very, really amazing. You are in second year, you are not Pakistani, and you love health camps. Wonderful.
I would like you to guess the lie, please.
To guess that?
to
Oh,
guess
the
the
lie.
lie.
Okay. Let me start from Muhammad. People think that I work really hard, but I work smarter. Maybe you can give us other two options to see which one can be a lie. But maybe let me go to Mamuna, if I'm correctly spelling it well.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, let me see. You are in second year. Definitely not in your second year. I think you are Pakistani.
Yeah, I am.
That's the lie.
That was the lie. That was
Okay, let me
actually
see.
really good though.
All right. Let me see the last one. People think I'm smart. I'm an influencer. I am afraid of spiders. I think you are not afraid of spiders, Maharosh. Maybe you can let me know in the chat. Wrong. Oh, I thought it was it. People think you are smart. I think you are smart. I'm afraid of every. All right, all right. Thanks a lot. That's really, really amazing. Yeah, thank you. Once again for your time.
Can you do one and we can guess?
All right, all right.
Okay.
Another one. I am the normie. I love MBBS. I do not have a Rolls Royce. Depends. I don't want to be I don't want to see which one. Of course, you love MBBS because you're in MBBS. I think you don't have a Rolls Royce. Oh, all right. You don't. What do you love then if it's not MBBS? FMSA. Oh, okay. Sleep, eat, repeat. All right.
Can we do one for you? Can you do two?
Okay, you want
lie?
one for me.
We can guess.
All right, let me type it. Okay, now you can guess. Oh, let me correct maybe a little bit. It's not soccer. All right. Great. Yeah, now people can guess. Now people can guess and try and find which one.
I think the one you changed. So football.
Well, no. Last guess, last guess.
You're not in fourth year, I guess.
That's actually true. I'm not in my fourth year. I'm not in my fourth year. I'm currently in my second year, just in the end terms. Yeah. So thank you guys for your participation, and yeah, let's kick into this. All right. So first of all, from this session, we want to. Sorry, having a small problem. All right. All right. Let me go back. Well, I would. Okay. Yeah. So start by asking a question. Are there other healthcare professionals studying in your school or in your university? If there are, maybe you can tell us what are those professions? Like anyone in the chat box.
Yes, we have physiotherapy and nursing.
Great, great. And others? Physiotherapy, pharmacist, nursing, paramedics, postgraduate, residents, nursing, LHV, hand, EPD, nursing. Yes, BCN students. Fantastic. That's really great. That's also the same case for us. We also have pharmacy, nursing, dental surgery, and dental therapy and other faculties. And also continue by asking also, do you have any mandatory or optional placements with students of other healthcare professions or at their institutions? Yeah, let me see in the chat box. Not really. Nope, nope. Great. Okay. Right.
akamubwira ngo ndi kumwe
Let's
n'umudokwari wawe
continue.
hano
So
ngo arimo ararimo utunota
I
duke
think there's somebody who has unmuted his mic. He or she can mute it.
nshatse kumubwira ati none se wa muntu wamwiwe nawe ati sha yo wampaye ijyana
yagize 39 kurangaye
Great. I was saying IPE or interprofessional education is a way of conjoining and seeing a way of merging and collaboration between health professionals. Basically, we have those who are in MBBS, we have those who are in DDS, nursing, and various faculties. So according to WHO, this is, it occurs when students form two organizations, or two or more professions, and learn about from and with each other to enable effective collaboration and in-health outcomes. So basically, we know that the health approach is not only regarding medical students, but we are seeing that within the health system, for example, let's take a good example, the hospitals, we don't only find doctors over there, we find nurses, we find anesthesiologists, we find pathologists, pharmacists. So all these people work together to implement health and making sure that the health of a patient is guaranteed and moving into a more prognostic approach, which basically provides a holistic approach to this problem. And what are some of the IPE behaviors and attitudes? Basically, that would be the first question, and maybe some people can answer in the chat box. Let me check the chat box. An answer.
Some IP behaviors can be respectful others, open communication, like trusting others, accountability, empathy, compassion,
Thanks.
flexibility.
Yeah. You can continue.
So I was saying adaptability. It can be collaborative decision making. That is such an important thing in medicine. Shared responsibility for the patient care, conflict resolution, lifelong learning, cultural competence, etc.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Azwa, if I'm spelling it rightful. And
Yes, it's
also
right.
yeah, thanks. And also have in the comment effective communication, teamwork, and collaboration, active listening, empathy, some things all together. So yeah, we can say that there are a lot of behaviors and attitudes that will be both positive and negative towards other people within the health care system that we medical students and we future medical doctors uh, basically uplift and also show within the health system. And these attitudes include, among others, mutual respect and trust. We also have responsibility, assertiveness, asking for help, and transparency. So all of these are ways of approaching other healthcare professionals, not only thinking as if we are in a bubble, but also basically moving to a collaboration. As I've given a short example in the hospital, we found that not only medical doctors are the ones within or near the patient. We have pathologists, we have pharmacists. All these people come together and work for the common good. And also, another question: what if IPE didn't exist? Like, what do you think will be the world, or how do you think it will be if IPE didn't exist? You can answer in the chat box.
I think there will be poor communication between healthcare providers, fragmented patient care, decreased efficiency, lack of understanding and respect, lower patient satisfaction, and limited personal growth or like skill development.
Thanks a lot. That's really impressive. Let me also check in the chat box what we have. Poor patient outcomes. That's really a good approach. That's really a good answer even. So basically what would happen is that the doctor will be the one treating the patient, and definitely we can see that the prognosis of the patient will be very detrimental. So meaning he wouldn't be treated by nurses. If he wants to go to the toilet, nobody will be caring for him or for her. And definitely we'll see that there will be a huge gap within providing effective management. So basically, even for us who are not yet in the field, who are still learning, and doctors in training, we can see that this is also a huge problem, because if we don't start today by collaborating with other people within other health professional sectors, basically those examples I've given, we find that now when we go up, when we go directly into the field now, facing the patient and providing healthcare service, we'll be finding it difficult to collaborate with all people involved, meaning that wouldn't be very helpful. The patient will eventually have complication because nobody is caring for them. And that will be very, very detrimental, basically saying. So now let's do a big dive a little bit into history. So in history, in 1969, a paper entitled Interprofessional Education in the Health Sciences, basically it was written by people who were viewing some gaps. They reported it appears that health professionals employ their talents inappropriately, and as a consequence, scarce human resources are wasted. Evidence also indicates fragmentation and compartmentalization and poor communication between those who provide different components of health services. So basically what they found out is that there is a lack of, basically first, there is no effective communication, no trust, no looking forward to collaborating within the same system For example, medical doctors who don't want to collaborate with other research people, who don't want to collaborate with nurses, who don't want to collaborate with pathologists and pharmacists, and all this gave what it gave out was a huge problem. There was a scarcity in human resources, and basically those who were few and also were there, they were wasted out. And we've seen that this is also leading to basically hindering the progress that we are looking forward within our healthcare system. And now let's see. I really love this one. We are time traveling to 1969, and then 5 minutes later, nope, bad idea. Do you know why? Because we've seen now the difference between 55 years back and now. There's a huge difference. People don't want to collaborate. There's no effective communication within the hospital. And then now it is totally different. We are working together. We are looking at different ways of now providing good healthcare service to the patient, which was not good and which was not even available back then. People thought that, oh, for me, I'm in this type of circle. If I'm a medical doctor, I will not be talking to nurses. I will not be treating them well. I will not be communicating with them effectively. So what it led, it was catastrophic. A lot of mortality and everything related to it. Now let's go back to right now where we are. The healthcare system is now facing a lot of complexes within the health system, basically. And now what it leaves out is there is a scarcity in healthcare workforce. So basically, I can say like here in Rwanda, there is one doctor per 10,055 patients. Usually WHO recommends one doctor per 1,000 patient. So you see that there is a huge gap within availability of workforce, and also this eventually leads to a lot of complication. People die on the way to hospital. People maybe face other life-threatening circumstances. And also we see that the WHO envisioned an educational system that will promote IPE with those outside their discipline as a means of improving the quality and effectiveness of healthcare worldwide. So the WHO is inputting a lot of effort now to promote IPE, because WHO is not only for medical doctors, it's not only for medical students, but also for all people who are the front line and also at the back screen for healthcare provision. And also WHO in its view, the aim of IP is to prepare all health professions to study the laboratory, working together with the common goal of building a safer and better healthcare system. So as I've said, they're looking forward to now not only looking at medical doctors as the cornerstone of health, basically, but also looking even to other cornerstones and other stakeholders. We have been looking at how AI has been improving. Maybe I can give a quick example. For example, here in Rwanda, we have what we call virtual reality or immersive technology. There is a company that eventually launched, I think, 3 years back. Basically, what they do is they provide anatomy education, and also they provide surgical, immersive surgical technology. So you can be wearing a mask, a virtual reality mask, and you can be trying to help the patient, maybe doing some small surgery. And eventually, this is a good approach of now using technology into finding a common way of treating patients in an effective way. So now you can see that we are also incorporating people who have not been into the studies within health, who haven't sat down and done pathology and other courses. But we are also trying now to see other stakeholders who can be very helpful within our calling. So now, a quick question. What is the relationship of IPE with collaborative practice? Yeah, maybe you can answer shortly. And let me see in the chat box.
IP collaboration with with the collaborative practice allow us for learning together, building teamwork skills. Like it can apply to real world applications, shared goals. We can do this thing in a teamwork or holistic approach, improved communication.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's actually what it can be very, very inputting. So now let's see maybe at this is a graph that basically shows the health education system, let it be in the local context or even how we also want it to be. So we start with local health needs, and we basically want to see how interprofessional education can be incorporated. And this also is a way of now promoting collaboration within healthcare providers. And this collaboration, basically we are here, this collaborative practice will lead to strengthened health system, and eventually there will be an improved health outcome. So if healthcare professions, let it be from medical students and potentially future medical doctors, pharmacists, pathologists, anesthesiologists, nurses, and other health professionals, if they put together and work together for the common good, eventually we'll see a strong and effective health system, maybe from within our country and within our continent, and eventually within the whole planet. So now we're going to look at 4 core competency domains of interprofessional collaborative practices. So basically, we are looking at now how we can implement this. So first of all, there is values and ethics. There are roles and responsibility of each health professional, interprofessional communication and teamwork. These are very, very crucial and core values that can be very implemented and be helpful and thoughtful. First of all, in the values, interprofessional practice revolving around patient-centered care and equity and efficiency in healthcare delivery. So basically this what it shows is that now we are now more centered to the patient. The patient is complaining, we listen to him or her. The patient is having maybe some fear, or basically the patient wants this or that, as long as it doesn't compromise the proper treatment and the proper prognosis and the proper management. Basically, we should be looking at more into that. And also, we must understand how interprofessional teamwork can be used for the patient's benefit. This basically is a way of now bringing all people all across, or maybe from entrepreneurship, maybe from us who are on the front, or basically on the side table of the patient, how we can work together now to bring a better patient's benefit outcome. And also there should be need of communication. We should teach, which basically this shows us there's a necessity to teach how to find a suitable language with the help of general reading literacy and health literacy. So basically what we're seeing is that if I know that, for example, let me give what we've done here in Rwanda. There's a training that we conducted back last year in the month of August. It was a session of learning sign languages. So basically what happens is that sometimes we find patients who can't talk, who are also deaf, like they can't hear. So now trying to find a way of now making, for example, history taking of the patient is very, very, very difficult. So basically that training, what taught us is now some of the basic skills needed for sign languages, and also how to communicate with the patient who is incapable of talking and incapable of also listening and hearing. So basically this was a good way of now approaching this problem. And also there's a need of teamwork. So basically working together to find a common problem and basically finding the treatment. This can be indeed very, very contributing and very helpful. So within our Hippocratic Oath, I strongly believe that Mr. Method Yusuf Abdul Kalim basically sworn this one. He swore it. It states, I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations with my fellow human beings. So this shows that any medical student, eventually medical doctor, should be very contributing within the healthcare sector, but also remaining a member of society, being part of the society, and knowing what is going on, the problems around, basically showing support to those in need, and also with special obligations with fellow human beings. So a medical doctor is not just a normal person. This is a person who is very, very crucial within lives of people. At any moment, somebody can just die from a small cause. And being at the front line, you are like a soldier. You are there to help and save lives. So this is what basically we want to see within medical students. Uh, with this in mind, healthcare students, not only medical students, but all healthcare students and professionals should strive and concentrate their efforts on accomplishing society's current needs. We basically know what people currently need. We can see them, we can spot them within our society because we live within our society. So basically, finding ways of now being able to put efforts on people's needs and basically solving them. This is what we are called to. And also by students understanding how to work interprofessionally, they are ready and to enter the workplace as member of the collaborative practice team. So for example, if we are medical students, we can work with pharmacy students to combat antimicrobial resistance. So all of these are ways of now putting all together our efforts for the common good. As I've given examples, now we can see there is a patient who is at the hospital, there is a hospitalist, there is a social worker, we have a nurse practitioner, all these people, and the command center, the mobile nurse, the pharmacist, the paramedic, all these people are there, even the emergency physician are all there to find a common way of now solving the patient's need. And all these people, just remove one person and it could be detrimental. It could be very, very catastrophic. So this shows that collaboration within all people eventually is for the common good of the patient. We shouldn't be just like a bubble and like a circle and just remain there. No, we should actually out horizon ourselves and move outside the box. So a quick example. Let's split up again. So let's like make like small groups. Maybe we can find a way of now doing this and yeah, and trying to be yeah, a small group. Just give me a few minutes. All right. All right. So now let's see people who will be answering these more questions. So who could be in charge in these cases? Oh, sorry, let me go back. Let me go back a little bit. All right. So now who could be in charge in these cases and how IPE can be applied? So let's answer the first question. Mental illness patient, like who can be in charge in these cases and how can IPE be applied? Let me see in the chat.
The psychiatrist and psychologist, maybe the GP or the nurse, the psychiatric nurse.
All right. I will answer that later on. Other people with opinions? So basically, psychologists, psychiatrists, nurses. Okay. What about pharmacists? Pharmacists basically also can be also now within the second category of the question, how can IPE be applied? So now pharmacists basically can also be applied. For example, if the patient now is having problems with seizures, maybe let's say a patient has having other problems related to mental health illnesses. Yeah, basically the pharmacists can also be included. So second question, a victim of violence or abuse, then this one is very kind of huge.
The GP, therapist, psychiatrist, police, ER doctor, trauma doctors.
Yeah. Now, all right. Even though the police is another field, but basically, yeah, that's actually true. And now let's look at the third question: diabetes mellitus patient. So now we have a patient who is having diabetes mellitus. Yeah, is facing various complications, let it be neuropathy or whatever. Now, who is in charge of this patient? How can IPE be applied? Yeah.
The general physician, family doctor.
What about the nurse?
Yeah, nurses too.
In the
What
second,
about
remember,
endocrinologist?
sorry, come again. I didn't hear you.
I said, what about endocrinologist?
Oh, yeah, basically. And now also in the second aspect of the question, how can IPE be applied? So now, let's see, how can IPE be applied? How can we also bring out other people who are not medical doctors within this case scenario?
By referring to nutritionist, social workers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dietitians and for like exercise purposes to trainers. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not medical. So
that's basically true. That's basically
It can
true.
it can also be diabetes specialist nurse.
Ooh, that's really true. Yeah, eventually there are some nurses who are very, very experienced and having been specialized within these cases. And also the next one, a teenager that has overdosed on drugs. Now, who is in charge, and then how can IPE be applied?
I think therapists and and GPs.
Therapists and GPs. Great. That's true.
I think toxicologist.
All right. What about now?
Substance abuse counselors, social workers.
I think emergency physicians.
Yeah, that too.
Even psychologists, clinical psychologists, we have also psychotherapists or psychologists, pharmacists, because this also can be sometimes be treated by some inhibition drugs.
But these comes after now. First, we'll have emergency physician if a teenager is overdosed on drugs. So in charge should be general physician or ER doctors.
Yeah, basically they're the ones in charge. But what if the patient doesn't come straight at the hospital? For example, the patient is maybe on, let's say at a specific center for drugs. For example, in
Then
Rwanda, we
then then basically he needs a mental health support and immediate medical care,
yeah.
environmental or social support by contacting social workers.
Yeah, that's okay. Let me see in the chat. We have
And
rehabilitation
he does
center.
need a education.
We have rehabilitation center. We have counselors, and you just say. Yeah. All right. So all these are people that we can work together with. Back to the other image I just showed you. Let me go back a little bit. All right, this is basically what we are looking at. We have various people who are basically at the front line to help the patient for better prognosis. And basically, not just only one person can be enough for the patient. Yes, we can be very knowledgeable and very skilled, but there's some aspect also we medical students and future medical doctors, we can't totally do without the help of other people who are in the health system. Yeah, this was a quick example of how we can do this. And also I have another question. What are some of the barriers that you see to IPE application? Like, for example, are there obstacles you see that basically hinder people from applying IPE within the health system?
Lack of support from institutional leaders, necessary resources or funding, and time constraints, shortage of time in clinical settings. Other than that, lack of trust and respect, a lot of stigma, and educational barriers.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Traditional barriers, traditional and religious barriers.
Basically, yeah, yeah. And also we all of those reasons are now basically causing people to not effectively apply the IPE. We have various reasons for people, for example, even also uh, back to the other example we just seen in the first few slides in 1969, we could see that a doctor wouldn't be talking to a nurse, wouldn't be talking to a pharmacist, a cleaner, just a doctor in his own mindset. So basically also some cultural, as one of you just said, cultural constraints can also be hindering the approach toward solving this issue.
Yes, basically everything ends up in getting stigmatized. Now, cultural barriers and values. People really don't come to the healthcare nowadays.
Yeah, that's really true. That's really true. So I also IPE aims to tear down those barriers as we've just seen and you just stated, barriers that even cultural barriers, and also it also the prejudices that people think. For example, I'm just a doctor. I don't want to be talking to a nurse. I don't want to be collaborating with a social worker. I don't want to be collaborating with a pharmacist, a pathologist, a cleaner, a receptionist. So IP basically aims at eradicating all those barriers and prejudices that people think, and also the exchange and collaboration between different healthcare sectors should be basically looking at reaching and solving the existing problems. So the existing problems are some of them's barriers, some of them's religious norms, and people don't want to maybe be treated by this specific doctor because um, or even a doctor doesn't want to talk to a nurse because he or she are from different religious backgrounds. So all these are ways of now tearing it down. And also want to see at now, how can we solve this? So we can start from us students who are still in training, who haven't yet got experience within the clinical aspect, how now we can be capacitated with knowledge regarding how we can now work together with all people who are in the healthcare system. So a good example within one of the medical schools here in Rwanda, there's what you call ISOCO or ISOCO, is social and community medicine. It's a course where we now see things broader than the knowledge basically we acquire within medical school. What we look at in that, what we look at in one of those courses, we see that now how can a healthcare provider, basically a doctor or future medical student, work together with other people who are in the health system, work with the nurse, basically not treating the nurse harshly, not talking them harshly, just thinking that this is also another person like me. We're trying to find a common good for the patient. We're trying to solve this a specific problem we're seeing in the patient. Yeah, basically working together. Now, one of the key aspects of that course is dealing with specifically that issue. And also we're now trying to implement a small number of different professions, processing, understanding, and accepting others' professions. So if this is a nurse, we shouldn't look at a nurse as if the nurse is less knowledgeable, less valuable than a doctor. No, we're all on the same level towards providing the healthcare provision to the patient. We want to help the patient to be safe. We want to help the patient to be fine and be relieved and eventually go back to normal life. So this necessitates working together with the patient. I can give you another example that once took place here in Rwanda. It was in one of the hospitals. There was a doctor who was very knowledgeable, very skilled, good surgeon. Eventually, he would do surgery, but at the end of surgery, the surgery will be very good, promising, everything fine, but the patient would later on die. One patient, two patient, 5, 10, 20. Eventually, the surgeon just left out. He said he was a resident. He just said, "Listen, I'm just fed up by this." Now back in the future, they just tried to investigate what was the problem behind all of this. So what they found out was that that doctor treated harshly the person who was in charge of needles and instruments within the surgical field. So basically, the person in charge of those needles and scalpels and everything, he would not properly clean the instruments before surgery. If it is, for example, sterilization by heating maybe up to 90 or 100 degrees, he would basically do it up to 60. Yeah, because the doctor just treats him harshly and everything. So now the doctor will be using those non-sterilized instruments on the patient. The patient would later on die. So now they found that that was the reason why the patients were dying after investigation. They were dying because the instruments were not properly sterilized. And eventually that was the reason behind that was the doctor treating harshly those who are in charge of sterilization. So now you can see how IPE is very, very needed in our healthcare system. So now, how can we achieve a collaborative practice-ready healthcare workforce? So basically, the way IPE is shaped is by educator mechanism and curricular mechanism. Now there is shaping those who are on the front line, basically shaping them towards understanding IPE, and also now reshaping the curriculum. So for example, I'll just give here in Rwanda, one of the medical schools, they have ISOCO, the social community medicine. So basically what it tackles, one of the things it tackles is this issue. So yeah, we can really shape the healthcare system. And within the educator mechanism, there is a need of careful preparation for instructors, basically those who will now provide skills to the future healthcare providers. And also sustaining IP can be equally complex, and it requires various things maybe you just said supportive institutional policies, fundings, good communication, enthusiasm, even a huge vision that can be very, very helpful. Now, in the curriculum mechanism, we want to point out to some mainly three basic aspects that can be very helpful. For example, in Rwanda, there's adult learning principles. We have learning methods that reflect the real world practice experience, for example, community outreach, also going to the hospital, sometimes visiting them and seeing how it is being conducted. And interaction also between students can be very, very helpful. We can now see this eventually shows that the curriculum all over the countries facing issue. The curriculum need to link learning activities, expected outcomes, and assessment. So now we can see how to merge all those three things together.
Bwira intwari wamaze ikiganiro tugenera naza tukijyanira kuba kitanshobora se izo saa cyenda izo kamasaha na mahe wasinese ari muri pause amasaha oh that akikora iki afashwe wate
All right. Now, this is what we want to see within the curricular basic of each and every medical institution and academia profile. So now we want to look at, sorry, I've just moved. Okay. Now I want to look at, this is a chart that basically shows how we can work together and collaborate basically into finding a common ground to solving this problem. The educator mechanism, the champions, institutional support, managerial commitment, all of these training, also the staff about this can eventually be very, very helpful. In the curriculum, we have to assess the curriculum. We have to look at contextual learning. We have to look at now how can this be maybe logistically be upscaled. Then the needs of doctors who are equipped with the knowledge now to train future medical doctors, lecturers, and everything. And now also we also need institutional support, not only from also the academia profile, but even from the local authorities that can be very, very helpful into solving this problem. And basically, this can be very solving a lot of issues. So if you want to know more about IPE, you can basically refer to this FMSA policy document, Interprofessional Education and Collaborative Practice. It was published back in 2020. Yeah, and maybe I can copy the link and then just share with you in the chat box. And you can be looking deeply into now what has been done, what needs to be done, and eventually how we can upscale it in the future. Yeah, those are some of the resources we use to prepare this PPT, and I just want to take this time to thank you all for your time and thank you all for your active learning, active listening, active collaboration, and also participation. So maybe if you have some questions, we can listen to some of them.
Okay, a very, very, very sincere thank you to our esteemed speakers for their engaging and insightful sessions. Your expertise and dedication have truly inspired us, and we are grateful for the invaluable learning you have shared with us. Thank you so much. Before we conclude, We'd like to capture this beautiful moment. You've got 3 minutes. Turn on your cameras so that we can capture this memorable moment. Okay. Okay, the picture has been clicked. Thank you all for being such an amazing audience and for making this event so special. I hope you continue to learn, lead, and level up. See you again soon, inshallah. Peace.